Greetings, welcome to the Legend Sport Channel. I'm Joe. We're going to take a look at the 1941 Figment World Series. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen any of my videos before, Figment League is a fictional sports league. Currently, I have just one online sport, and that would be baseball, using the out-of-the-park baseball simulation. I hope to add other online leagues to it in other sports, football, hockey, basketball, maybe even other things, depending on what kind of simulations I can find to do it with and so forth. But for now, I have baseball going. It's been going for a while. We are currently, obviously, in the 41 season, but we did begin with the 1926, I believe, was our first online season. And before that, I actually ran 50 seasons of history to kind of build, story and leaderboards and some just general history into the league. And, I have been doing that as well with the other sports. There is hockey, there is football, there was basketball, which is currently on hiatus. Pro basketball really didn't get a lot of momentum till after World War II, so that's coming up soon. And the plan is definitely to have basketball, football, and hockey leagues. But for now, the matter at hand, the 1941 Figment World Series. So this is a matchup between our Continental Association champion Chicago Cougars and our Federal Association pennant winners, the Boston Minutemen. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at the score page in Out of the Park Baseball 23. This is October 1st, 1941. We only have one game. This would be the first game of the World Series. I have hide scores turned on, which hides the line score here. So even though I know who won this game, and we've known the result now for a few days as we've been simming through the World Series, for the purposes of this video, I'm just demonstrating how you could, if you didn't know the result of the game, use hide scores, watch the highlight reel, or a complete replay and watch the game unfold before your very eyes. This is a very cool feature of Out of the Park Baseball game. So here we are, game one. This is the first inning. We are looking at Walt Wells, who's the Boston starter, and Carlos Montez, as you can see over here, is the leadoff man for the Cougars. He hit .253 this year. One of the neat things is if you hover over a player, you can see his stats. So Wells split his time. He was acquired at the trade deadline from the Philadelphia Sailors. He had gone 11-6 for Philly, and he went 6-4 with a 2.70 ERA for Boston, and he was an effective pitcher down the stretch for the Minutemen, who survived a very tough pennant race with the Detroit Dynamos and Pittsburgh Miners. So let's get our highlight reel underway. So Wells gets off to a good start with the strikeout, and that brings up Ray Ford. We're now in the third inning. Ford rifles one down into the left field corner here. That will be good for extra bases, and that's a double for Ford. So Ford on second, Lawson on first now. Cliff Moss, the right fielder, at the plate. And he draws the walk to load the bases. So this is bad news here for Mr. Wells. Freddy Jones comes to the plate. Now Freddy was at one time a very, very outstanding hitter who led the league in batting average several times. He's had some injuries and he's slowed down a little bit. And this season he hit .269, which is obviously far below what he was doing when he was young, and he strikes out with the bases loaded. So that's the first out of the inning now, and that will bring Leo Mitchell up. Mitchell is a .346 hitter, so he's a very dangerous hitter here. And he goes yard for the grand slam, breaking this game open. It's now 4-0 in favor of Chicago. Then we go back, top of the order, Carlos Montez here in the 6th, 1 run already in, and he goes down into the right field corner for an RBI triple, as it takes a little while for right fielder Pete Day to dig that ball out of the corner. By the time he does, Montez is in at third. It's now 5-0 in favor of Chicago. Third baseman John Lawson, one of the better veterans in the league, at the plate. Montez on third, and Lawson goes yard. So now, with that 2-run shot, it is now 7-0 in favor of the Cougars. Okay, Art Myers on the hill now. Man on first, Montez. Ray Ford at the plate. This is the 8th inning. And Ford goes yard as well, out to left center, making it 10-0. So now we go to the bottom of the 9th. We have runners on the corners for the Minutemen trying to plate a run against Dick Lyons. Lyons came on in relief of Pappenfuss in the 5th inning, or 6th maybe. 6th inning, yes, it was the 6th, because in the bottom of the Pappenfuss in the in the top of the 6th, he hurt himself running the bases. So his status is currently day-to-day. Lyons, another crafty vet, gets the pop-up to end the game. And that ends it. And the Cougars take it 11-0 on Boston's home field to grab Game 1 of the World Championship Series. As we can see here, Montez 2 for 6, Ford 2 for 4, Lawson 2 for 4, with a couple RBIs and 3 runs scored. There was no shortage of offensive fireworks. Leo Mitchell 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. So that and 3 home runs hit by the Cougars. Mitchell, Ford, and Lawson all went yard. On the Boston side, not a whole lot going on offensively, and Walt Wells just was hammered. 4 walks, 8 hits, 2 home runs, in just 5 2/3 innings. 5 earned runs. There obviously was an error, a costly error. And Pappenfuss, as I mentioned, he went 5, just 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Dick Lyons, the veteran starting pitcher, came on, pitched the last 4 innings, scattering 4 hits and getting the save. So we'll go on to Game 2 now. So we advance the date by 1. So this is Game 2. Same 2 teams, same location. Highlight reel. Loading up our ballpark and so on. And there we go. So for Game 2, we have Ray Daltman on the mound for Boston, and Harry Parker gets the ball for the Cougars. So first batter shoots a base hit to center. So Walker is on at first here to get the first inning started. So now we're in the top of the 2nd, and 2 men on against Daltman. Harry Mead, the catcher, at the plate. And he shoots one up the middle, base hit. That brings a run around, and it is now 1-0 Chicago. Still in the top of the 2nd, runners on the corners. Pitcher Harry Parker at the plate. And he drives one past third baseman Art Spencer. Run comes in, 2-0. Still top of the 2nd, runners on first and second now. We're back at the top of the order with Dick Walker at the plate. The veteran first baseman drives one deep to center field, off the wall. That's going to score at least 2 runs. He holds at second with a double. 2-run double for Walker, 4-0 Chicago. We move on to the 7th. Daltman still on the mound. We've got bases loaded and 2 outs, and John Lawson at the plate. Lawson lifts one deep to right and out for a grand slam. 379 feet, and that makes it 8-0 as the Cougars continue to just pound on Boston pitching. And that pretty much puts this one out of reach. Boston does have a couple men on here. We're in the bottom of the ninth. 2 men on. Harry Parker still on the mound. Les Rich at the plate, pinch hitting. And he grounds it down to first for the first out. 2 runs are now in. It is 9-2. Parker still on the mound. Bill Moore, the first baseman, at the plate. Pop to left. Left fielder Leo Mitchell didn't even need to move, and it's now a 9-2 final, and Chicago goes up 2-0 in the series. So box score, Chicago tops Boston again 9-2. Again, no shortage of hits, 14 hits banged out for the Cougars. They scored 9 runs. They also left 16 men on base, 5 of them by Carlos Montez. That is interesting. So the damage could have been far worse. The Minutemen actually did do some things offensively, but it was far too little to actually have any impact on the outcome. They did get 10 hits. Pitching-wise, Parker, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, complete game win. Daltman took some lumps. He went 6 2/3, 10 hits, a walk, allowed 8 runs, 4 earned. The errors continue to be an issue for Boston, and they now will head to Chicago for Game 3, down 2-0 and desperately needing a victory. So we will advance to the 4th of October for Game 3, Boston at Chicago. Okay, so here we are, Game 3 in Chicago. We've got Ed Wood on the. Ed Wood is the starting pitcher for Boston. He's at the plate. We're in the top of the 3rd. Jim Leonardo, the veteran, is on the mound for Chicago. Leonardo, a 4-time Allen Award winner. And looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here. We're in the top of the 3rd, 2 on, none out. And the pitcher at the plate. He gets a grounder, goes to 3rd, and that's all they get. So they erase Flint to make it 1st and 2nd with 1 out, and turns the lineup over, and Pete Day is at the plate now. Day finds the hole between 1st and 2nd, and we have an out at the plate, I believe. So 2 outs, still no score. Runner on 2nd. And that base hit is going to score the run, it appears. And it is now 1-0 Boston here in the 6th inning. 1st and 3rd, Chick Donnelly, the left fielder, drives one over the head of the center fielder and to the wall with 2 men on. Okay, so we have a run in now. It's 1-0. Infield in, they get the ground out, 2 outs. Still 1-0. Lou McClendon, the shortstop, at the plate. He lifts one to center. Coming over is Montez to put it away. That ends the inning, but it is 1-0 Boston. Wood at the plate, facing Ray Ford at bottom of the 6th. Grounds back to the pitcher, and he is safe on an infield hit. So we have a man on first, 1 out. John Lawson, the very dangerous veteran 3rd baseman, at the plate, but Wood strikes him out. 2 down. Harry Meade up now as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Popped up on the infield. So it stays 1-0. Wood now facing Rich Langton. Pinch hitting. We're in the bottom of the 8th. And he little soft liner to shortstop Lou McClendon. Wood is dealing. He's got a shutout going. 3-hit shutout. Now facing Carlos Montez. He draws the walk. So we have a man on first. Tying run on base now. Ray Ford at the plate. We're in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Ford rifles one, but scooped up by the 3rd baseman. And that ends, oh, I'm sorry, that's 2 outs now. Oh, that was the end of the 8th, I'm sorry. So now we go to the 9th. And we have Wood facing Lawson. 1-2 count. Popped up. Center field. Burkett over, makes the catch. 1 down. Orland Yates stepping in, the right fielder. Lifts one to his counterpart out in right. Day makes the catch, 2 down. And now Freddie Jones, last hope for the Cougars. Grounds it to third. Across the diamond. Spencer Timore, and that ends the inning. So, and the game. I'm sorry, ends both the inning and the game. And Boston wins 1-0. And cuts into the Chicago lead. It's 2-1 as we will now go to game 4. So you see headline, home loss shrinks Cougar series lead to 2-1. Not a whole lot going on offensively. We had 5 hits for Boston, 3 for Chicago, as both pitchers, Leonardo and Wood, were on their games. Both guys went the distance. Wood allowed just 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts in the complete game shutout, while Leonardo went the full distance, allowing 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The lone RBI came off the bat of Chick Donnelly, and that run was scored by Bill Burkett, the center fielder. So we will now move on to game number 4, also in Chicago, October 5th. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. We have veteran Dick Lyons getting the start in place of the nicked up Pete Pappenfuss. Dean Assel, the veteran acquired from Cleveland, veteran right-hander, very good pitcher, pitching for Boston. So let's get underway here. Lyons and McClendon to start the game. McClendon lifts it out to left for the out. Still in the top of the first. We now have Joe Watson up. He flies out to right over the head of Moss, and that's going to end up being 3 bases. That's a triple for Watson. They did not score, however, and we go to the bottom of the second. 2 men on, 1 out, fly to center. So we fail to advance the runners. We now go to the top of the 5th in a still scoreless game. Lyons facing his counterpart, Atzel. Pops up the bunt, trying to move the runner over. Catcher puts it away. And they double Burkett off at first. So that erases that threat. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Assel facing Cliff Moss. Man on first, down to first, over to second. Back to first for the double. Oh, no double play. McClendon beats it out. Still in the bottom of the 6th. Moss at first. Freddie Jones at the dish. Down to second. Over to the shortstop. Back to first. That is a double play to end the inning. We move on to the top of the 7th. Lyons now facing Bill Van Ness. Van Ness flies one into the gap. Back, and gone. Home run. It's now 1-0 Boston. Bill Van Ness, the catcher, goes yard to give Boston a 1-0 lead here in the 7th. Go to the bottom of the 7th now. Tip Harrison, the shortstop, facing Assel. Assel gets him to pop up. Center fielder drifts underneath it, makes the catch. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Lyons facing Assel. Fly ball to right. Put away by Chick Donnelly. Okay, bottom of the 8th. 2 outs, none on. Carlos Montez at the dish. And he strikes out. So now we go to the 9th. Lawson, Assel. Still 1-0. Shoots it down to third. Max Sutton scoops it up across the diamond to Spencer. 1 down. Langton comes up. Popped out to right. Coming over is Donnelly. 2 down. Freddie Jones now at the plate. Last hope. He flies it to left, where it's collected by Watson, and the game is over. Back-to-back 1-0 wins have knotted the series at 2 games apiece. Some very clutch pitching performances by both teams. Unfortunately for the Cougars, they were on the wrong end of a pair of 1-0 wins by Boston. So again, not a whole lot. Van Ness's home run is the difference. Not a whole lot offensively. Only 4 hits for Boston, 4 hits for Chicago. The bats have been pretty silent here in Chicago. Astol with the complete game shutout, 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. The veteran Dick Lyons also goes distance. He also allowed 4 hits, just the 1 home run to Van Ness being the difference. He had a walk and a pair of strikeouts as well. 44,338 on hand at Cougars Park. And they witnessed their homestanding Cougars drop it 1-0 to tie the series at 2 games apiece. So, third and final game of the series, Game 5. Third and final game of the series to be played in Chicago. This is a pivotal must-win game for both teams, obviously. If you want to win the series, it would be a good idea to get that 3rd win. Can't get the 4th one without the 3rd one. So in this one, we have Harry Parker on the mound for Chicago. He was the winner in Game 2, and he's facing Game 1's loser, Walt Wells, who had a really, really ineffective start in that Game 1 loss back in Boston. So here we have Pete Day leading off. Grounder back to the box, and that's out. So we go to the 4th. Bill Moore at the plate facing Parker. Man on first. Base hit up the middle. And we get an interesting play here. So we have an 8-5-4-6 put out because Burkett was called out for leaving the base path. So we give a put out to Mr. Schneider there, one of the Schneider triplets. And it is that is an out. So that's an interesting play, although the graphics didn't really do it justice, but that was a rare and interesting play. So we have runners on first and second now with the pitcher up. It's still scoreless. We're in the 5th. And Parker facing Walt Wells. Wells grounds to shortstop. He goes the short way to second, and that is the end of the frame. So now, top of the 5th. I'm sorry, bottom of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th here. Wells and Ray Ford. That's a walk. We've got first and second with nobody out. John Lawson at the plate. And Lawson hits a grounder that's booted by second baseman Buddy Schneider. And now we have the bases loaded with nobody out. And Johnny McDowell steps in, pinch hitting. And Wells gets him, looking. 1 down, bases still loaded. Freddy Jones at the dish. And Jones drops one in front of center fielder Burkett, and we get a run in. So now we move on to the top of the 7th. Jack Flint facing Parker. Runner on first. Okay, so it's 2-0 now as we go to the bottom of the 7th. We have Walt Wells facing Montez. Montez lifts one deep to left and out. Home run, Carlos Montez, 358 feet. A 2-run shot that makes it 4-0 Cougars. Now in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. The last out is recorded on a pop out. And Chicago gets a needed win, and they will head back to Boston, up 3-2, needing just one win to clinch a championship. So headline, Parker handcuffs Minutemen, Cougars seize 3-2 advantage in World Championship Series. As mentioned, Parker with a second good outing. He goes the distance, a 4-hit shutout, 4 walks, 5 Ks. His ERA for the series is now just a flat 1 run, and he is 2-0. Wells takes his second loss. He goes 8, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, and the 1 home run to Carlos Montez. Another sellout crowd at Cougars Park for their last game of the home game of the season. We have our off day on the 7th. On the 8th, we reconvene in Boston's Cunningham Field for Game 6. A must-win for the Boston Minutemen. Pete Pappenfuss, the fireballing right-hander of the Cougars, looking to close things out and make Chicago champions. So we go to the bottom of the 2nd with 2 men on. Flint at the plate. He drives a base hit to right. That scores Spencer, and it's 1-0 Boston. So now we go to the top of the 5th. Ray Daltman on. He was the loser in Game 2 for Boston. We have Skipper Schneider at first, Dick Walker at the plate. And that's a base hit to right. And we got runners on the corners with 2 down. Carlos Montez up. Montez draws the free pass. Bases loaded, 2 outs. John Lawson at the dish. And Lawson drives one into the gap, left center. Center fielder Burkett retrieves. And that's a bases clearing double. 3 RBIs for Lawson. It is 3-1 Cougars. Pappenfuss now bottom of the 5th, facing Pete Day. Inside, draws the walk. Pappenfuss has had control problems throughout his career. He throws very hard. As you can see in the corner here, his velocity is 99 to 101, Here's Bill Burkett. He also draws the free pass. So we have a situation with runners on first and second, 2 outs. Cougars leading 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Bill Moore singles to left, coming around to score. And it is now 3-2. Les Rich at the plate. Down the line, past first baseman Walker. That's going to be at least 2 for Rich. And that is an RBI double. It's now 3-3. Still bottom of the 5th. McClendon now at the plate with set runners on second and third. A 3-2 count. Pappenfuss delivers another walk. This loads the bases. So bases loaded for the very dangerous Leo Mitchell. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong team. Jack Flint at the plate. And that is a base hit. So that's going to drive in 2 runs. And it's 5-3. So Pappenfuss taking his lumps here in the home 5th. Pete Day now at the plate. Another hit down the line into the right field corner. And Day drives in 3 runs with a double, and it's 8-3 Minutemen. So we move on. Top of the 7th, Daltman on the hill, Ford at second, Walker at third, Cliff Moss at the plate. Tapper back to first. Take the out. So there's he was safe. That's an infield single. So we have bases loaded now with 1 out. Freddie Jones lifted to right, pulled in, but the run is going to score, and that cuts the lead now. Okay, Daltman facing Mitchell, 8-5, and he gets him to strike out. to end the inning. We go to the top of the 8th now with Snyder on at first, Orlin Yates at the plate, John Edwards on the mound. In relief of Daltman, he gives a walk to Yates, so it's first and second. Walker at the plate. Grounded to short. They get the out at first, so it's now second and third with 2 outs, and Fred Vargas at the dish. Vargas drops one in front of the center fielder. 2 runs are in. 8-7. So now Vargas at first, Lawson at the plate. Grounded to second, goes over to first to end the inning. Damage done, however. 8-7. We go to the 9th. Top of the 9th. Cliff Moss facing Edwards. Edwards hoping to close this out and tie the series at 3 games apiece. We get the fly ball out. 1 down. Freddie Jones up. Jones to short. No play. That is an infield single for Jones, who is a speedy runner. So 1 on, 1 out. Full count to Leo Mitchell now. Strikes him out. So 1 on, 2 outs. Cougars now down to their last out. Harry Mead at the plate. And Mead goes to second, and there's an error. First baseman Moore cannot handle it, and Jones goes to third. Mead now on second. So we have the tying run at third, and Skipper Schneider at the plate facing Edwards. And Skipper drops one in to right field, driving home 2 runs, and the Cougars now implausibly have taken the lead, and they lead 9-8. Okay, so we can move to the bottom of the 9th now, and Dick Lyons on the hill, Joe Watson at the dish. Grounded to third. Lawson over first, 1 down. Charlie Reed now at the plate. He drives one into the right center field gap. Yates retrieves, but it is a double. Double for Reed. So tying run at second, Max Sutton coming up as a pinch hitter against Lyons. And he lifts one out to center. Pulled in by Yates. The runner does not advance, so now we're down to the last out for Boston, on the verge of losing the World Championship Series. Jack Flint at the plate. Dick Lyons on the mound. And Flint comes through with a base hit. Reed is going home. The throw is late, and we have a tie ball game. Flint on at second, Buddy Schneider up, 2 outs. He grounds to second. It's booted. So there's an error on Harrison. Flint goes to third. So we have runners on the corners. Bill Van Ness at the plate. Popped up, foul territory, third base side. Lawson's there to retire the side. And we are getting free baseball, folks. Going on to the 10th inning now. Top of the 10th, Dick Walker at the plate. Fly to center. Dick Higgins now on the mound for Boston, and that is 1 out. Lawson up, and he's going to drop a single in front of the center fielder. Burkett could not get there, so we have a runner on first, 1 out, and Cliff Moss up. Moss a high fly out to right, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 10th, still 9-9. Pete Day will lead off against Pug Bryan. And Day lifts a fly that drops in between the outfielders. Right fielder chasing it down. Moss chases it down, but it is a double for Day to lead off the bottom of the 10th on Pug Bryan. Bill Burkett now at the plate. Grounded to second, booted by second baseman Harrison. I believe that is his second error of the game, and there are now runners at the corners and Bill Moore at the dish. Infield in, and that's going to drop in front of center fielder Yates, and that is that drives in the winning run, and Boston takes it 10-9 to tie the game up at 3 games apiece, set up a pivotal Game 7 here in Boston. So a wild 10-9 win for the Minutemen over the Cougars. There was a lot of late inning fireworks going on there, as you know. The Cougars led 3-1 going to the bottom of the 5th. The Minutemen plated 7 to take an 8-3 lead, and then we had 6 unanswered runs with 2 each in the 7th, 8th, and 9th for the Cougars to go into the bottom of the 9th up 9-8, but they couldn't prevent Boston from tying the game. A costly error by Harrison kind of set up the game-winning run for Boston in the 10th, and they take it 10-9. For Boston, Pete Day, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, and a couple runs scored. But the player of the game goes to Jack Flint, and Flint had 4 RBIs on a 3 for 4 day. He also drew a walk. 24 men left on base for Boston and 23 left on base for Chicago. The pitching was not effective in this game. Pappenfuss goes 4 2/3, allows 8 runs, 10 hits, 4 walks, 4 Ks. He does not even take the loss because of the wild nature of this game. The Cougars use 5 pitchers. Boston uses 4. Daltman pitched better in this one than he did in his first start of the series back in Game 2, but he still went 7 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 4 walks, 3 Ks. Higgins gets the win. He pitched the 10th, allowed a hit, but no runs. And Bryan takes the loss. He allowed 3 hits. The run was earned, even though it went to third on an error. He did not record an out, so he takes the loss and goes 0-1, and he has an ERA of infinity, I suppose, allowing 1 run with no innings pitched. So we will now go to the ultimate contest, Game 7 here in Boston, for all the marbles, and it will be Ed Wood taking on Jim Leonardo. Carlos Montez set to lead off. Game 7 underway. Montez gets us started with a base hit to right. Okay, we move to the top of the 3rd with Leonardo on second and Montez on first, Ford at the plate facing Ed Wood. And that's lifted to left and caught out there for the first out. Lawson now at the plate, full count, shoots it to short. We go 6-4-3, double play, ends the threat. Bottom of the 4th, we have Lou McClendon on at first, Jack Flynn at the plate facing Leonardo. That is driven out into the corner in right field. McClendon hustles to third, goes home, scores RBI double by Flint. The Minutemen lead 1-0. Flint goes to third on the throw, and we have Ed Wood at the plate with 2 outs. And he actually dinks one into right field, which scores Flint, and the Minutemen lead is now 2-0. So we move to the top of the 6th, Wood facing Montez. And Montez drives one off the wall in left center. Retrieved there by center fielder Burkett, but that is a double for Montez. So Montez on second. Moss now at the plate with 2 outs. And he pops it to center and it drops in. Montez coming around and he scores, and it's 2-1 now. So the tying run now at first base, and Freddie Jones facing Wood with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. And that finds the grass there over the second baseman's head. And Moss stops at second. And we have, it looks like, a pinch runner at second. But to no avail. We have a 4-3 put out there for Mitchell, and that retires the side. But it is now 2-1 as we pick things up here in the top of the 7th. Wood facing Harry Mead. Fly ball to right, drops in, and that was kind of a funny animation. It looked like Pete Day just didn't even try to catch that ball. But nevertheless, that's a single for Mead. He's on at first. Skipper Schneider at the plate facing Wood. He bunts, fielded by Wood, over to Buddy Snyder, his brother, covering first, and the sack is successful. We have the tying run now in the form of Harry Mead at second, with pitcher Jim Leonardo up, and he draws the walk. So that was an interesting decision to let Leonardo hit, but he draws the walk, so no harm. And now we have Carlos Montez up, first and second, one out here in the seventh. But Wood whiffs Montez, two down, and Ray Ford comes up. And he shoots one down to third. And that is a 5-3 put out to go to the seventh inning stretch, with it still 2-1 in favor of Boston. Top of the eighth, Wood facing Lawson now. And the veteran third baseman flies to center. Now we have Freddy Jones here, 2 outs in the top of the eighth. Nobody on. Shoots it to short. And McClendon throws him out. It's still 2-1. Now we go to the ninth. Wood is facing Mitchell, leading off for Chicago. Grounder to second. Snyder throws him out. One down. Harry Mead now at the plate. Fly ball center field. Coming over is Burkett for the catch. 2 down. Skipper Schneider now represents the last chance opportunity for Chicago to keep this thing going. And he flies to right, and it drops in. So we have the tying run now on at first. 2 down here in the visitors' ninth inning. Wood 1 out away from giving Boston the World Championship. Vargas now at the plate. Fly ball, right field. Pete Day coming in, makes the catch, and Boston has won the World Championship Series. Your 1941 Federally Aligned Baseball League champion is the Boston Minutemen. Parade time in the city of Boston. Let's take a look at the box score real quick. Minutemen top Cougars in World Championship Series. It was a hard-fought battle for both teams to make it this far, but as the saying goes, to the victors go the spoils. For the victorious Boston Minutemen, that meant the Federally Aligned Baseball League's World Championship Series trophy. The MVP of the series went to pitcher Ed Wood, who won 2 games, both in pretty impressive fashion. He pitched a shutout in Game 3. And he allowed 1 run in Game 7. He went the distance, so he pitched 18 innings in total. 9 in this game, 7 hits, 1 run earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. His ERA for the series is 0.50. Jim Leonardo took the tough luck loss. He finished the series 0-2, despite a 1.59 ERA, being on the wrong end of a 1-0 loss and a 2-1 loss. So Leonardo went the distance as well. 9 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So that was the 1941 Federally Aligned League's World Championship Series. Congratulations to the Boston Minutemen, as they've won the championship for the first time since, I believe, and we can look this up, Boston's last championship was in 1912. So there you go. Boston has won 5, although one of those was when they were a Peerless League team before the formation of Fable, or the Federally Aligned Baseball Leagues, which happened in 1892, as you can see. They won previously in 94. They lost the series in 1902. They won in 03 and 04. This was when George Theobald, the legendary manager, all-time winningest manager in league history, was the Skipper of Boston, they won 5 straight pennants, but only captured 2 world championships in that 5-year span. Then they won again in 12 and did capture another championship. And they won in 15, which would be their last pennant until 41. So for 1941, they went 90 and 64 to win the pennant, outperforming their Pythagorean record by 2 games. They drew over 1 million fans for the first time in their history, and that was their 5th championship. Again, one of those is a Peerless League championship. So that was their 4th. That is their 5th world championship. So 6th overall if you count the Peerless League, but 5th Fable championship, and this was their 9th pennant win. So congratulations, Boston, on winning the 1941 Fable championship.